Hey guys, Ryan here. Just trying something a little bit different today, to be honest. I wanted to go over the live stream, but not, spend too long trying to make a video. I just wanted it to be really clear. Kind of going over my notes and stuff from the live stream as a whole, just to give you the down low. I'm here with Twitch chat on the right. I'm sure they're going to say hi at some point. I'll even bring them in. There you go. Main question I just got, actually, which I guess is a good question to answer on, is was this stream any good? Was it interesting? Did it teach us a lot? Ultimately, it still leaves a lot to be desired, right? This is a game that requires a lot of fixes, a lot of quality of life stuff, as well as new content. And there's a lot of cool fixes in here. We'll be sure to highlight the FOV sliders and stuff a bit later on. But just to generally go through it, we saw a brief glimpse right there for a split second. If I could go back. The Lesion Keys. This is the main focus of what is going to be in this next patch. Effectively, you do a daily, which would be a legendary contract, which these guys do throughout the live stream. You are given one of these keys. At the end of a stronghold, which they didn't show, by the way, you will have access to 4 caches, which you can open with keys. You can open one on your own, but if the rest of your group basically has their keys too, you can open all 4 and the loot will be shared amongst you. Not to mention that these things you can't get duplicates of. Once you have one, you will 100% get something else. Sort of going through the news as we'll sort of highlight. I'll put some of the legendary contract gameplay on in the background, but generally give you the context on everything that was revealed in this stream, at least. No doubt there'll be other bits and pieces that weren't talked about, other bug fixes, weapon buffs, ability buffs, the like. They did say that when you start a stronghold, you will start a stronghold within the first 2 minutes of the beginning of it. Hence, that you'll start at the start. You won't get thrown into a monitor boss battle right at the end. So that's quite good if you're trying to do the Heart of Rage. If you click the Heart of Rage and go start stronghold, you will be at the start. You won't get thrown into the final boss. Kind of another thing to go over as well is that bosses can drop other gear other than the guaranteed drops that you get at the, like you kill a boss in a stronghold, you get a guaranteed masterwork ability. In this case, you can also get legendary drops and other bits and pieces dropping from the boss in the end, as well as the Lesion caches, which we've kind of gone over. Another really cool thing, if I can try and get the point, I should have written down notes here in terms of when, but you can access the Forge from anywhere in Fort Tarsis, from the menu. We'll highlight something really cool as well from the expedition screen in a hot second, but you can see that the UI has changed. All of this is pretty cool. You can see all of the abilities and components, importantly, from this screen, but you can get here from the menu. You don't need to go to the Forge to do this, and also there's just 0 loading screen. So as I said, there's going to be a lot of these, oh hey, that's kind of cool, changes, but there's not going to be anything that I really think is going to bring you back if you've decided to quit for the time being. None of these changes, I'll be honest, are going to be, oh, yeah, I'm going to, activate my Origin subscription again or anything like that. You can get here from basically anywhere. It's a really nice change. Just to quickly go over stuff, we'll talk about FOV in a second. They have improved performance stuff in this patch. They also have DLSS support. SLI is coming in the future, but definitely RTX stuff in this patch, which is good for PC viewers. Unfortunately, the FOV slider stuff, which we'll highlight in a second, is purely for PC. Therefore, sorry, Xbox and PlayStation 4, you're not going to be able to get access to this. Try to think of anything else to really sort of go over. Salvaging is snappier. Components bug is currently being fixed. The scaling stuff that we highlighted in the past video of, taking off all of your gear, your abilities, your combos, your ultimate getting stronger because of it. That's been changed and fixed. There was also a bug with a reviving timer that was fixed too. We'll put some gameplay of them actually doing stuff here. Which was basically, if you got downed, you'd wait for 30 seconds. If somebody tried to resurrect you and they got interrupted or they stopped, at let's say there's 5 seconds to go. Somebody tries to res you, they stop. Your timer would go back up to 30 seconds. This is one that I experienced myself and let BioWare know because, of course, that's a pretty bad change in my book, at least, to be honest. Max thrusters have been increased by 20% so you can fly longer, and even when you overheat, the effective overheat's been decreased by 20%, so you are not going to be stuck on the ground any longer. New masterwork components, we got an example of that, something to do with shotgun, where if you shoot a target with 7 shots, they get affected by acid, I believe it was, but I'm sure we'll have an actual closer, proper look at these. Sorry if this is a bit of a rambly video, to be honest, but I figured it was a good opportunity to do something a little bit more hands-on instead of, you know, like an actual scripted video taking the time. I'd rather just go over the stuff that interested me and then tell you sort of my ideas on them, to be honest. A really cool change for the Interceptor, actually, is instead of just, you know, spamming that button like that for melee, right? You hold down the melee button. I'm pretty sure this will be the same on like controller and stuff too. You will just continually melee. You don't need to keep spamming the button. You just hold it down and you will do your flurry of melee attacks, which I think is a really big change for the Interceptor. They're looking at stuff like luck, potentially changing that. They gave off the indication, or at least Chris Schmidt in the bottom left did, saying that he agrees with most people saying that it's a bit of an awful stat. They've also increased loot drops from bosses for GM 1, 2, and 3. Not for anything below that, unfortunately. There is no loading screens into the Forge, as I kind of went over before. They also highlighted a bit of a waypoint system for free play, which they didn't know whether it was new or not, and I'm pretty sure it isn't new. It's just effectively when you're close to an event, you can see it on the map, but you can't see it from anywhere on the map, if that makes sense. So it's not really a massive change. You know, when you say free play waypoint, you expect bigger things, but unfortunately, that's not the case. They removed a lot of the fog walls in the games for strongholds and stuff. And on top of that, there wasn't really too much. This is them showing off the continuous melee, for example. And they are doing a legendary mission, which is the Finding Old Friends mission. The only issue that I can see with doing this mission, which I would totally avoid for other people, is that there is a unskippable cutscene, which you can't skip. So if I was you, I just wouldn't do this mission, because this is like a 2-3 minute a cutscene which you can't skip, which is baffling why they haven't added that. Just sort of showing you as they go into the end of the mission. Right, this confused me and a lot of people in chat. This is not an Elysian cache. It's got the same look, but this is just a normal like box at the end of a mission, because you can tell because it's dropping a load of shit. You know, there's no Masterworks or Legendaries in there, but that isn't the caches. The caches are only available in the Ender Strongholds, which can be confusing because they've sort of shown off the Elysian cache on the website and the roadmap, which looks identical to that. So, bit complicated, bit confusing. They also showed off the FOV. They gave a really good example of this further on into the VOD, which I want to show you. The FOV underneath the water. So this is the normal FOV, I believe, on screen. And as it goes into the water, it starts to open up to the bigger FOV in-game. He's showing it off a bit more. Let me skip ahead. Sorry, this is a very, like, ghetto video, but it's all in the basis of saving time, just getting out there. So, whilst we're sort of showing off the... I keep thinking, no, never mind, it's going to show now. So whilst we're talking about that, this patch, my general impressions of it, there's some really good stuff in there. I think the new content, well, defining new is a bit awkward with this, but the Elysian caches are quite cool, gives you incentive to do particular things in order to get cosmetics, which, to be honest, there isn't a lot of them in the game at this given point. So I think ultimately that's a nice change in itself, right? Like, it gives you incentive to do specific dailies to get keys, to get loot. But you are doing the same stuff that you have been doing over the past month or so, so that's not ideal. And the same with legendary missions. Some of the early missions are really good. I think this example of the Princess Sim one is a bad one, considering that you can't skip the cutscene. But stuff like Lost Arcanist and What Freelancers Do and Incursion are all pretty fun missions, and on harder difficulties they might provide a good challenge, and with any luck, pretty good loot too. The FOV change and the DLSS support are necessary. It's nice, but realistically, they should have been in for launch. I should have a lot of changes. The big stuff in terms of loot, scaling, progression, text chart, any real effective stuff in this patch isn't present, which has left a lot of people disappointed. You even have mobs disappearing, which isn't a great look for Anthem, but you know, like, we will obviously cover the patch as we go into it. I didn't really want to go over all of the stuff here, like, you know, go over literally everything that they said and go, this is what they said, this is that. I'd much rather kind of give you my impressions straight after the live stream. Granted, to be honest, I'm probably not going to do another video like this, so if you appreciated the more chill style, I suppose, of providing this video, then do let me know in the comments below, or let me know in Twitch chat if you're here right now. If you really didn't like it, preferred something a little bit more succinct and to the point, then by all means let me know. Like, dislike this video if you really don't like it. I'm more than okay with that, because at the end of the day, I'll kind of go over this in another video talking about future plans. Is just I want to experiment. I don't necessarily want to get caught doing the same stuff over and over again. I don't want to be an Anthem news channel. I just want to be an Anthem content creator. Which, you know, covering news is fine, but, you know, examples of people like Datto, Marco Styles for other games, they are content creators that just make content on the games instead of big news, big update kind of stuff, you know. That's kind of what I wanted to do with Anthem stuff, but ended up finding myself doing Anthem news content. But that's a topic for another day, to be honest. I will definitely say that this patch is going to provide a lot of good, but if you've cancelled your Origin Premiere or you're just uninstalled the game, this isn't going to make you install the game again, which is sad for me to say, but I wanted to be brutally honest. I'm still enjoying playing the game a bit now and again, but I'm having a lot more fun playing other games, as you can probably imagine which games I'm playing. More info on that, I suppose, another time. But that's kind of everything. That's the main changes. The illusion caches, we've got a bit of a brief look. FOV sliders, improved performance. Important changes, but March as a month for Anthem hasn't been a great one. With any luck, the April content will come in. New Stronghold, of course. Hopefully there's some big stuff there. But I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings and my impressions of this patch. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I think these guys are saying bye at the same time as me, so I'll do the same. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.